Shut the door, son. Oh, distract you.
Don't mind my sweaty self. We're just getting done working out with some clients, a group training. It was a killer. We almost died. Just kidding. Okay, so tonight I am going to discuss some myths about diet, just some things that kind of I heard over and over again. What's wrong with certain nutrients, when to eat, when not to eat, just an overall general kind of things that just get passed around a lot. They're false. So I hear a lot that don't really have any backing to it. I just realized that it's not like the end of the world. If I tell you what you think is wrong or you think is right isn't necessarily true. It's just there's no real reason to follow it specifically. So basically, again, it's just a couple myths that I'm going to talk about. Number one, I hear all the time is that you have to eat 6 meals to keep your metabolism up. It's not true. You don't have to eat 6 meals. You don't have to eat 5 meals. You don't have to eat 4 meals. You don't have to eat 3. You could eat 1 a day and still burn the same amount of calories. The idea is when you wake up, let's say you do 6 a.m., you are going to burn the same amount of calories from 6 a.m. to 6 a.m. When you eat food, you're going to burn the same amount of calories whether you eat a bunch of food at once or smaller portion meals. The idea was you eat more, you burn more. It just is not true. Same amount, whatever you eat, you're going to burn regardless of the same amount of calories. So the 6 meals a day works great if you're a person that has a lot of cravings, a lot of hunger issues. For example, if you're hungry, maybe you just pig out really fast. Well, if you're eating 6 meals a day, it's going to tone down your cravings because you're always going to be full. So that's one reason why 6 meals a day work for some people. Like I said, it doesn't have to work for everybody. There's no magic to it. It's just maybe you are hungry a lot, and so by eating smaller portions, it keeps you from being hungry all day long. So don't really worry about the amount of meals you eat a day. It's not a big deal. If 3 meals fits your lifestyle, 3 meals fits your lifestyle. As long as it's calorie match, you won't have to worry about it. So really just think about that. Don't believe all the hype about it. Someone tells you that that's the only way to go, probably don't know what they're talking about. But if you're a person, again, that craves consistently all day long or seems hungry all day long, the 6 meals might be a better choice for you just because you're a person that needs to be full a lot compared to a person like me where I don't have to eat until 12 to really get hungry, or I don't get hungry till around 11 or 12, so I don't need to have 6 meals a day because it doesn't bother me not to have that much. But again, don't believe you have to have 6 meals a day. That's not true. You don't have to have 5. It's all about calories versus calories out. You're going to burn the same amount of calories from 6 a.m. to 6 a.m. So just kind of do what fits your lifestyle. The second myth I'm going to talk about is eating before nighttime, and people thinking that if you eat closer to bedtime, you're going to store it as fat. Again, it goes back to the same thing about once you start eating, or once you wake up at 6 a.m., regardless of when you eat, whether you eat all your food in the morning, middle, or at nighttime, you're still going to burn the same amount of calories. So no matter when you intake it, you're still going to burn those calories. It doesn't really matter. So making sure that you're eating before 6 p.m. before you go to bed doesn't really help out. Okay? It's not going to help you lose weight by stopping eating at 6 p.m. That's not the reason you lose weight. The reason why you lose weight is maybe if you stop at 6 p.m. you're eating less calories because you used to have a midnight snack or you used to have a 10 p.m. snack, and that sets you over your calorie limit, and so that's instead of burning more than you were eating, you're eating more than you were burning. So some people may think that because they stopped eating at 6 p.m. that they lost weight because of that. It's not really that. It more than likely is the fact that you were eating 2,500 calories because you were having that late night snack, and then you cut it off at 6 p.m. and now you're only having 1,900 calories, and so now your weight loss is starting to happen, and it's due to the stop at 6 p.m. It's not really that. So if your calories are within the same, like within the amount that you need to lose weight, you can eat it whenever. You can have all your food at night, no matter what. I don't care what anybody says. You can have 2 meals a day. You can have a meal at lunch, a meal at dinner. As long as those calories match, you'll lose weight. So the whole eating clean before nighttime, or not eating any carbs, or just eating really a lot less before you go to bed, don't worry about that. It's not true. In fact, I feel like the majority of people are hungry at night anyway. So if I was anybody that gets really hungry at night, I would suggest actually eating the majority of their calories at night, because if you're busy during the day working, you're probably not going to be as hungry. So the smaller meals will be okay. And then when you get home after working all day, probably going to the gym and working out, you're going to be hungry. Probably more hungry than you were in the morning when you first got up and started running out the door. Probably more hungry in the morning than when you were at lunch and you were having to run around and think about what you were doing when you were coming back to work. Again, it's most people are, in my opinion, are way more hungry at night than they are in the morning. So you can actually eat more calories at night and not have to worry about it. If you're a person that, like I said, you're just really hungry at night, or maybe you have a late night hunger pains, and at 9 p.m. you're just always starving no matter what, move your calories closer to 9 p.m. Move your dinner closer to 9 p.m. Make it so that when you're eating close to the time that you're hungry, that way you feel more fulfilled before you go to bed, and you won't want to snack and have those sweets and all other bad stuff at night right before you go to bed. Again, it's really important to think about the calories versus calories out before to think about something like meal timing and things like that. Eat when you're most hungry. Eat the majority of calories when you're most hungry. And think about that. Is it true that it's better to eat carbs at night so you don't? So this is interesting. Is it true that it is better to eat carbs at night so you don't crave them all day? Not necessarily true. I mean, I eat the majority of my carbs at night because during the day I'm not as hungry. That's my preference. If you're a person that likes carbs at night and you can get away with not eating them during the day, go ahead and do that. Again, it's adjust to your lifestyle. You know, if you got 100 carbs saved up for night, and you can have your rice and your brownie and still be within your limits, that's actually better for you, because you're going to kill your you're going to get that craving taken care of. You're still going to stay within your limit. So it's more of a lifestyle choice, I would say. If you're a person that doesn't eat a lot of carbs at night, or you don't crave carbs at night, then you don't need to have them all at night. But again, if you're a person that does crave a little more carbs at night, maybe it's better to form the craving, or to help satisfy that craving by still eating quite a bit of carbs and not having to limit it, because not having to limit it so much because you've had much more during the day. So I wouldn't say it's true. I would just say some people might actually do better by having more carbs at night and keeping it away from breakfast and lunch, just because they usually are hungrier at night than they are in breakfast and lunch. So yeah, I would say that. Carbs and kind of being the devil, and usually people are like, oh, I do so great on paleo diet, oh my gosh, I lost all this weight, yada yada yada. Well, yeah, you lost weight, but here's a kicker. For every gram of carb, there's 3 to 4 grams of water that come with it. So if you cut out 50 grams of carbs, you're cutting out 150 to 200 grams of water. Well, you're going to lose weight because the water goes away from having lower carbs. So that is exactly the reason why a lot of people lose a lot of weight. Also, interesting, I just read this and found this out. It takes 3,500 calories of fat to lose a pound. It takes 400 calories of carbs to lose a pound, because of the fact that there's so much water with carbs. So if you cut out carbs, you're going to lose weight because you're going to lose a lot of water weight. And then you go add carbs back and you're like, oh my God, I gained all my weight. It's terrible carbs. No, it's because you gained the water weight you lost just from cutting out the carbs. Carbs itself weight. Macronutrients actually take a little bit of weight. You're eating a certain amount a day, 1.5 pounds of protein a day if you eat that much, or 1 pound of protein a day. That's still weight. So same thing with carbs. How many pounds of carbs you have in a day? You take those out, well, that's weight you're losing. And so that first initial 2 to 3 weeks, a lot of times it's not fat that you're losing. You're just losing water weight and some macronutrient weight, and it's not a full amount of fat. So again, 3,500 calories burns a pound of fat, but it doesn't necessarily mean that when you're lowering your calories that it's all going to be fat. Some of it's going to be water weight, some of it's going to be weight from the carbs, so just eating less calories in general. So think about that when you're losing weight. That's the reason why a lot of people lose weight at the beginning, is because they restrict their calories, they lose some water weight, they lose some weight from actually restricting the calories, so they're eating less food, so that's a little bit of weight they're losing, and that just adds up over time. It adds up over the first 1 or 2 weeks, so they're really not losing a ton of weight. It's just the beginning is a lot of manipulation and non-body fat weight that you start to lose. So don't believe the hype on that. I'm not saying paleo doesn't work. I'm not saying it doesn't work for some people. What I'm saying is most people will get away with eating carbs, and that's a simple fact. Majority of people don't have issues with eating carbs. Majority of people just think they do because they've been on low carbs and they add carbs and gain weight, and it's like, oh my god, I gained weight. Well, yeah, it's because you're eating carbs again, but you're gaining the water weight you lost back, and things like that. So don't listen to that hype. That's one of the bull crap things that I will never. I now understand and will never allow anybody to tell me different. If you're a person that just works a laborer's job all day, like farming or something like that, you don't do any high intensity work, yeah, paleo might work for you. A little higher fat, lower carbs. You're not doing a ton of high intensity work, but it's not going to hurt. It's not going to hurt. I'll tell you right now, the main reason people have issues is because they don't move. I mean, I can eat tons of people that are overweight, that exercise and have phenomenal numbers across the board, live a long life, and they're technically overweight, but it's because they move. So don't think just because you're eating well, everything's going to be great. Moving is a big part of it. The more you sit, the more you don't do anything, the worse your health will be in the story. You can eat a lot and move a lot and be just fine. So that kind of went off on a rampage. I didn't mean to do that. But back again to carbs. Takes fat 30 to 40% longer to switch over to energy than it does for carbs to switch over energy. That's why your body goes for carbs after the ATP and the creatine phosphate. So after the ATP and the CP, your body goes for carbs for a reason, because it utilizes it very well, especially in high intensity work. So we're talking about exercise. Carbs is the #1 source, and it's great. It's awesome. It's phenomenal. You want to have carbs in your body when you're doing high intensity exercise. Anybody that tells you different is wrong. You're not going to be optimal, I'll say, with doing paleo, but you're not going to be optimal. And who wants to feel like crap during a workout? I'd rather feel great. I'd rather feel like I can run an extra 5 miles at the end of my workout than feeling like crap halfway through. It's like a gas tank on a supercharged V8. You take some carbs in your body, you fill it up, you continue having it going, a full amount of carbs in your body, guess what? Your exercise is going to be phenomenal. You're going to get through the workout. It's like a V8 supercharged. You take a gallon of gas that normally would get you from point A to point B. You take half that gallon away. Now you've only got half a gallon of gas. Put in a supercharged V8. It's going to go half the distance and probably have a little momentum to chug into the point B, but it's not going to get there full-on performance-wise, fast and high intensity. So it is needed. The better you fuel your body, the better the performance will be. Better your performance will be. Guess what? You're probably going to burn more calories. So if you're looking to burn that extra little bit of calories or a little bit more, why not fuel your body right so it can actually get through the workout at a higher intensity than, again, half-assing it, where it's only getting part of the way through. Huge, 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 huge. You see it all the time. People are in their dragging butts because they didn't eat enough that day. Dragging butt because they only had chicken or some peanut butter, just a little bit, but not enough to really fuel yourself during the workout. And then they don't eat afterwards very well. So people are so low calories because they think, don't eat. If I don't eat, I lose weight. That'll happen for a little bit, but eventually you're going to plateau. And when you plateau, what are you going to do with that? Are you going to cut the calories even more? That only makes you that only brings your energy levels down again, and then it'll drop again, and it'll continue to drop again. What's the maximum amount of sodium a person should consume? So the maximum amount of sodium really depends on the athlete. How hard do you work out? If you're working out sweating like crazy, doing 2-3 workouts a day, you can have quite a bit of sodium actually, because guess what? Your muscles use the sodium. The limit that they set on, like the FDA or whatever, and the government, the limit that they have on there is because people are so sedentary. If you sweat a lot, you sweat a lot of sodium out. If you move a lot, you use a lot of sodium with your muscles. Your muscles use calcium, potassium, and sodium. So you need it. But it really depends on how active you are and how much you can have. I can't say a specific number because I'm not fully informed on that. But I will say that you can probably have more than you think, and definitely more than MyFitnessPal says. But again, it's sodium is something that I wouldn't really be too concerned about unless you're having like 10,000 grams or 8,000 grams. Okay, so it's 16 minutes. My marketing guy says I need to shut it off at a short amount of time because we're going to do this thing where we do a transcript and stuff like that, so I can't have this too long. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to shut down, open back up, and I'm going to answer that last question. And if you have any more questions, I'm going to do it there, okay? Don't hate me. I'm going to pop right back up, but I've got to get this video a little shorter.